You ever have someone in your life that tends to embellish, lie about little things and major things? You're never going to believe the extent to which this person went.
We've got internet proof that these things exist that were found out that this person's been lying about. It's just awesome.
Either this is going to be really great and you can use it to freak out your family, or you're going to think it's absolutely crazy.
Crazy family.
Welcome to the program. If you have a crazy family story, we want to hear it. Call toll free 833-CRAY-FAM, 833-272-9326. You call it 24/7 and share your crazy family story with us. Or if you'd like to write in, you can do that on our website, crazyfampod.com. crazyfampod.com. And you can do it completely anonymously. We would love to hear your stories. And check us out on Apple Podcasts. If you're not there already, our channel, you can try it for 3 days free. Get everything commercial free, advanced episodes, the archive, Fear Thy Family episodes. It's all there for you to binge away on right now on Apple Podcasts. Tony and Stacey Cole here today on the program. What's up?
I just love our stories. I feel like we've been very heavy on the mother-in-law stories, but we're just coming off the holiday season. I think the mother-in-laws probably drove people absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah, there has been a lot of that, I think. And it's always, I don't know. There's something about the holidays and mother-in-laws.
Oh, God. Did you watch Christmas Vacation much? With Chevy Chase?
Oh, yeah. I have a Chevy Chase action figure that's holding the cup, or the antler cup.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing. I got a chance to see him in Milwaukee at the Riverside Theater. They would do these things where they would invite in people, and like John Cleese had come, Chevy Chase had come. It was right before the pandemic.
Yeah. And
they showed Christmas Vacation in its entirety to the audience. And then Chevy Chase came out afterwards to talk about it.
How was it?
And
was he a dick?
It was spectacular, okay. But he was horrifically sick. They actually had him like in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
I bet he had COVID. It was before COVID was ever.
Yeah. This
was like the beginning of December, and he had the worst upper respiratory infection and horrifically rumbling cough. And I looked over at my husband. I'm like, I think he should be in the hospital. I mean, he looked like gray in appearance. His skin looked gray.
Yeah.
He looked really sick. But he came out, he talked, he anytime he triggered himself to laugh about something, he started coughing, and they brought oxygen out to him. It was just like, what the fuck is he doing here? But he sat down at the piano and played some stuff. He talked about Christmas Vacation. It was wonderful, but I felt like, oh my God, we shouldn't be doing this. We just shouldn't. But
that's amazing, because he's so reclusive, and I would think if he was feeling shitty, he'd be like, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care how many people bought tickets.
He came out. I mean, he was a hell of a sport. But I'm hoping they carted him off in an ambulance after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. He was just on, Bill Maher has a podcast, and he was on there as a guest recently. And I never taken a look at the pictures, but Bill was complimenting him on how well he was looking.
Oh, good.
And yeah, he's certainly showing his age now, but he's a lot slimmer. He had gotten really unhealthily large there for a while. And it looked like, I don't know if he was using some sort of, steroid or something, for whatever ailments he may have, but, he looks like I would expect him to look today, as opposed to how scary. I really thought he was on almost death watch for a little while there.
Well, and I was certain when we saw him in Milwaukee that was the last time we'd ever see him alive. He looked like he was going to die that night, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah,
it felt really tragic that we were sitting there watching him do basically a performance, and we shouldn't have been.
Sure.
I was mortified.
So how does Chevy Chase tie in here?
The holidays, the in-laws coming over.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a stretch, but that's where my brain went. So.
Yeah, it's just like rabbit hole. And then let's talk about squirrels, which you literally
Right.
literally could from Christmas Vacation.
Oh God, yeah. See,
But no, I get it. Yeah, no, it's everybody's kind of trying to get back to normal life, and amongst the cold and the darkness of winter, the sun never comes out anymore. It's always dark and dreary, and eventually the sun will come back, or a large nuclear explosion will light up the sky, and we'll be an eternal winter.
well, that'll warm
for
us
the
up.
rest of our lives. Nuclear winter, everyone. Now, that's the pep talk I like to give in winter to make everybody
Excellent.
get excited.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. On to bigger and brighter things. Let's talk about our crazy families.
Yeah.
This first story, my birthday is coming up. It says, I heard on the grapevine that my mother-in-law is knitting me a blanket. Another one. I think she has made me 5 blankets and a shawl over the past couple of years. They're nice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the time and the effort. What I don't appreciate is the accompanying sarcastic barbs like, quote, I know you like to relax, snuggle, rest on the couch. I thought you could use this as you spend a lot of time relaxing. This will keep you warm while you sit around. I love it. Oh my God. It says she always has to insinuate that I am lazy. Nothing could be further from the truth, but she'll never acknowledge it. Oh, well, I'm sure my dogs will love snuggling on their new blanket.
Well, my first question was going to be, is she right? And that's, sometimes you get digs from people and they turn out to be right. And they hurt because it's like, damn it. But if she's completely off base, then you know that. But people's perceptions, that's the thing. Once they kind of dig in, it's hard to change them. I think my parents perpetually think that I just kind of hang out all day, and I don't quite. They know what I do, but I don't know that they know like the amount of time it takes to do what I do.
Well, exactly. And it's not that you're lazy. You're doing all kinds of things. You're busy constantly. You're not lazy. So, but they probably think all you do is sit around and just chat.
Yeah. It's like, and I get it. I don't know the details of everything that my dad does in the world of insurance, but I know he's busy. So I don't really question that. Or he was, now he's getting closer to retirement time. So it's getting a bit easier. He's even talks about that. But it's, you kind of get those weird vibes where people think they know, or they don't know, or you don't even know how to explain it because it's almost like, well, if you don't know by now,
right.
I don't know that
remember,
you ever will.
Think about it, Tony, when we were in radio, people thought that all we did was we sat around and listened to music all day.
Yeah.
And we just talked. There was so much more that went into it. Oftentimes we would intro the music and turn it down because we had to be doing things during the songs. We didn't get to sit and listen to the songs very much. No. You had to, at that point in time. I mean, now you probably could with automation. Yeah.
But I mean, no, but it was like, find the next CD. I still have nightmares.
Yes.
Of I can't get the CD to load because we were literally putting them in CD players and getting it queued up, and you have a big stack of them, and you got to have your whole hour ready to go. And sometimes you get caught up doing a phone call and like, oh my God, I don't have the song ready. And
it's not ready. It takes like 15 seconds to load up and queue up, and all of a sudden the machine is malfunctioning and it's giving you like blinking lights, like, sorry, not queuing this one up.
Yeah.
And your other one's got 30 seconds left and you're like, shit.
I have a variation of that now where it's more modern, where I'm like at a current radio station and I'm like, okay, we don't have CDs. Oh, I have to just type in like the artist name or something. And I'm at the station and I can't think of any artist name to type in to like get something queued up to play. And I don't know. And or I do start typing and it's like the telephone dream where like the numbers are not working correctly. Or you're like, you hit 9 and it goes to 2. It's like the keyboard's not working right. And it's just typing in gibberish and I can't get and we have dead air. I think I have it like once a week.
Oh, well, if you've had dead air once, it traumatizes you because you're thinking of the thousands of people that are sitting there going, what's going on? There's no music.
Or are they?
And it's your fault. It is your fault.
Yeah. But now being out of that and watching things like that happen on radio and the reaction of the general public, meaning like your friends and family that aren't in radio, you usually don't notice. They're just
No.
like, what? And you're sitting there going, oh my God, I can't believe it's been that long. What's wrong? They have dead air. So?
Yeah, you're like, oh, they did? And we're in a cold sweat.
Exactly.
And our hearts racing.
Yeah. It's very inside radio. And it just kind of goes to show some of those things that we worried about so much. Like nobody fucking cared. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Yeah. What else we got?
Well, last Christmas, I discovered that my mother-in-law had taken out a credit card with a large credit limit in my name. Okay, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Just going to say that. When I confronted her, she begged me not to call the cops and said that using my credit was the only way she could afford Christmas gifts. Well, not wanting to cause stress for my husband after all, this was his mom, I just decided to do nothing. But then I had to sit at her house on Christmas Eve and watch in silence as all the family opened expensive gifts that I technically had bought. And what did I get? An old leather bag that I had seen in her basement storage years ago, and a paperback book that my sister-in-law had bought her for her birthday. Dude. If you're going to do that, at least buy a really nice gift for the person you're scamming.
I think that's something where you, your husband, and mother-in-law need to sit down and discuss this and work this out in a way where either she pays it back in some way, shape, or form immediately, or you work out a payment plan. Obviously, she cannot have the fucking card. Don't let her continue doing that. And if she can't pay it back, then if your hubby has a separate account or something, he's going to need to pay it back. And if that can't be worked out, then I think it's pretty much you saying to your hubby, I want nothing to do with her.
Yeah, she sounds like a dangerous person. I mean, this is illegal and it's predatory. Why would you do that to somebody?
It's not an excuse of, well, I couldn't get presents, so I decided to create a credit card in your name.
Yeah.
What? That's never the answer. That is never the answer. It's just insane. She's trying to normalize this as much as she can so that it doesn't turn into a big rift. I get it. That's half the time what I preach is just kind of be like, sometimes it's worth an argument, sometimes it's not. This one can affect you greatly if it gets out of control. The fact that she even knew your social security enough to fucking get the account is kind of surprising to me. But I don't know. People have ways of digging. Maybe she had it on some record for something. I would immediately close that card, though.
Yes.
And if you did say it was fraud, obviously that would alert authorities. Half the time, I don't think they do shit about it. If it's not like some sort of serial credit card ring, but at the least get that card canceled. And you and your husband need to kind of have a come to Jesus on how you're going to move forward with that relationship with mom-in-law. And it may be nothing. It may just be like, you're gonna go see your mom? Okay, great. I'm over here. Or if she can, truly, you believe she truly feels remorse and somehow can understand how the fuck she did it or why she did it, maybe that can be healed. But I'd be prepared to walk away.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to deal with this. I guess I would want her to talk to her husband about it, that this is what your mom did. I want you to know I'm protecting her, but we need to deal with this right now.
Yeah. This is one that
but yeah,
can't linger.
You're right. Close that card.
Don't let it linger, because this shit will go way out of hand really quick. Yep. And then people will bring up other things that, well, what about when you did this? And because it's a defense mechanism, and that's exactly where it will go the longer this lingers. And if anyone tries to do that in this conversation, you shut it down. We're not talking about that right now. If you'd like to address that later, we can. But we're talking about you creating a credit card for me and spending the limit and buying exorbitant gifts. It'd be like, I would, if you needed some money, you could have come to me and I could have, helped you get reasonably priced gifts that I said were I could afford, and I'd have been fine with that. But you going behind my back and doing this is not at all acceptable, and I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say.
Right. And what else is she doing? I mean, taking a credit card out in somebody else's name, that's a pretty big jump to make as your very first crime, isn't it?
Yeah, I would get. My other question on this would honestly be, how old is she? Is there something going, if this is like totally not her normal behavior, which I don't know, is there something else? Is there something going on here mentally that is starting to break down, and for some reason she thought that was the answer? I would look at that too. And it may not be that at all. She may just be a thieving woman, but I don't know. There's a lot of things to look at there.
Yeah, that's ugly.
Yeah.
Just a gross, ugly situation.
Yeah, very much so. If you want to share your crazy family story with us, you can do it completely anonymously. It's called 833-CRAY-FAM, 833-272-9326. Or you can write in at crazyfampod.com. Of course, we want to hear your stories. What else we got?
Our doozy.
All right.
Okay. All right. And I do want to point out, just as a courtesy, this story does mention miscarriage. So if that's something that is really sensitive to some of our listeners, you've been warned. But I do think, especially if miscarriage is something triggering to you, I do think this story you will get a kick out of. I understand it's a serious issue, but this story is just going to make you crazy mad. Okay?
I've gone through it, and obviously I wasn't the pregnant one, but this story is very funny.
Yes, it is. So it says, my sister has a history of lying about major things, medical issues, my dad being in a car accident that never happened, and pregnancies. The list goes on. She said she was pregnant, and she showed me ultrasound photos. Then she had a miscarriage. But suddenly the events surrounding the miscarriage didn't add up. Then I found the same ultrasound photos on a website that you can buy fake ultrasound photos on. The pictures were in the same order. They had the same lines, dots, shapes, everything. She was insisting they were real. But what are the odds of 2 sheets of 3 ultrasound photos being identical to those on the website? 3 from 8 weeks and 3 from 12 weeks. Both sets are on the website. It's not possible that she could have identical pictures to these, right? She has me second guessing myself, but I feel she has to be lying. Something should be different in these pictures. The positioning, the lines, the dots, something. Well, I'll tell you what, I did just a very cursory search of the internet.
Yeah.
There is a website, and the first one I found called Baby Maybe, where you can buy fake ultrasound and sonograms from $10.
Why would you want to do that?
I have no fucking idea. Now, when you go to the website, it says, if you scroll down, I'm going to the bottom, that this is meant for fake pranks. That this is only to be used as a prank. But you know fucking well people are going on this website and printing these things off and handing them to employers to get special treatment.
Yes.
Or screwing with an ex-boyfriend. It's awful.
My God.
You can buy a fake pregnancy test that's always positive. You can buy fake pregnancy documents.
Yeah, there's more than one website that sells this stuff too. I searched it. There's multiple. It's actually a searchable term on Google where there are multiple ads for this product.
Isn't that insane? I had no idea.
That means there's that much of a demand for something like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I worked with very generically ultrasound at the vet clinic. And it was my doctor there that was really good at ultrasound, but I helped, and I would, help position the animal and hold the animal while she was moving the probe around. Every body is different. Every body cavity is different. And just the way the ultrasound probe is held, you can get a different image. The lines are different. The dots are different. The positioning is different. No ultrasound photo is identical to the next one. So she's got to be lying. If the pictures are absolutely identical, you're dealing with a body, the human body. No human body is identical to another one.
No, they're fake.
Yeah, they have to be fake. Have to be.
I was trying to look that up. Like, is there a condition? And there is a condition where someone thinks that they're pregnant, even though they're not. And I forget what that's called. But this is not that. This is someone willingly going out and deceiving people. Someone who has that condition would not be going and buying fake ultrasound pictures to show the world.
Right. And by the way, you can buy them on Amazon too.
Wonder what sort of Black Friday sales they had on that one.
Let me click on it and see. Let's see. Prank 2D customized fake ultrasound strip of 3 photos, $69.99.
A prank, and it's prank. I imagine some people do use this as a prank, but it's about as much of a prank as someone would use as an excuse in the 90s before internet porn, when they went into a porn store saying, I'm buying this as a prank gift for a friend. Bullshit.
Yeah, wink, wink.
You're going to take this home and you're going to hide it and you're going to watch it a lot.
You're damn right you are.
A gift for a friend. But people would say that sort of shit because it's like, well, it's too shameful to say that I'm actually doing this.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the reviews of this seller on Amazon, it's crazy. Will buy again, one of them says. Why? Why are you buying multiple sets?
Why is this like a comical thing to people? I guess I don't even really understand how this would be like oh, you got me. You even got pictures. And then, I mean, why?
Right.
I don't see many situations where this ends well, other than the person who's executing the prank is getting some sort of malicious joy out of it.
That's the only thing I can think of, that you want the attention, and this is the only way you're going to get it.
That when you hear that news, for most people, it's kind of like a moment where your brain kicks into mode of recording everything right now, moment I will never forget. And it's a huge rush of endorphins and such. And you start to process, well, if it's yours, you're like, what's going to, you're going to be a parent. If it's, a loved one, if it's one of your kids telling you this, if it's, a sister, whatever, you start to go, it's a life-changing moment. And I don't know, as much as I make fun and joke about God near everything on this planet, that's one where I don't know. I don't see the comical aspect of it, where it would not leave someone feeling a little empty inside after the prank is revealed.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm reading a little bit more on one of these websites. Somebody was using these for a gender reveal. So they wanted one that was a boy. That, okay, I can get behind that, maybe.
Well, just fucking say we don't have a sonogram. Big deal. Do a gender reveal, but you don't just say you learned it at the doctor.
Right, or color a cupcake, Yeah. Jeez.
That's an interesting. Yeah. Well, you taught me something new that I didn't know existed today. So that's
right.
That's exciting. At first, I was thinking it was like one of those websites that like sell, cat meat or something, where it's truly just a fake site. Then people go, oh my God. But no. Wow. Well, that's interesting. 833 CRAYFAM, 833 CRAYFAM, or numerically 833-272-9326. You can write it or call in your ghost story, your crazy family
Well, these are
story.
kind of ghostly.
Your ghostly, crazy family story, whatever story you got about your family. Doesn't have to be even that extreme. Just whatever you got, the crazy stuff. Call it in. We'd love to hear it. Or write in at crazyfampod.com. Let's go to a caller and hear another crazy family story. Hi.
Let's do it.
Yes, please disguise my voice.
I did.
My name, I guess you could call me, I don't know, the daughter-in-law. And I married into a family where I have had 1, 2, 3. I've had 3 father-in-laws. One is my spouse's dad. The other 2 are my mother-in-law's ex-husband and now husband. And every single one of these men is like I was listening to your first podcast, and then you said something about how like, oh, men know their place, and this family does not know its place. My father-in-law, he has called my spouse like one time in like out of concern or love in the past 11 years, but when we're visiting them, he feels the need to like pretend to parent, and so he'll like give all these really like cringy, uber conservative, like eat ivermectin for breakfast opinions, and he, if you don't do what he wants and you don't even know what the bar is for doing what he wants, he won't talk to you for weeks or months or sometimes years. We told him no one time to babysitting his new wife's kids, because he called us out of the blue, and my spouse was really excited. And then he found out the reason his dad called him was because his dad found out we were coming to visit that weekend, and when we came to visit, he wanted us to stay at their house while he and his new wife were out of town, so we could watch his 11 and 10-year-old stepchildren that we had never met before. That's what he wanted for us to do with our weekend in town. And we told him no, and then he didn't talk to us for 8 months, which was not a loss. And then one of my father-in-laws, the very first time I met him, we were dating, and he got raging drunk at a 4th of July party and slapped my rear so hard that it hurt like 10 minutes later, as I was walking out of the party to leave for the night to like go back to our home. And I was in shock. I was like, I've never been hit like by another adult. And let's see, he also had very strong opinions about everything. So anytime we come to visit them, they told us, like, he would tell us how we weren't living our lives right and how we didn't know everything, and would get always like incredibly drunk, and like every time I saw him he was drunk, and say inappropriate things. He slapped a server on the butt and on the ass in a Cheesecake Factory. Why, I don't know to this day. Like, I'm shocked we did not believe. Like, it was incredibly embarrassing. He was like obsessed with if he paid for dinner, he would let you know for the next like 3 weeks that he paid for dinner, and like he was owed a return, and then when he and his wife divorced, he spent like weeks angrily texting my spouse about what kind of a person my spouse's mom was, to the point where my spouse eventually was like, we can't talk ever again unless you can talk about something other than how mad you are. And let's see, my second father-in-law, the one I currently have, is racist, homophobic, you name it. He told me once, and this is a direct quote, that his favorite black person was Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan paid for the baby mom, like the children of his baby mamas or something like that. Took care of his baby mamas. I don't know. And I was like, have you literally never met another person other than Michael? Well, you don't even know Michael Jordan, but he's the only person you know. Every single one of his stories is like about how much he knows and how much, like, he tried to give us like a whole end time CD collection just so we could be prepared. He, of course, is on the ivermectin train. He always has some story about a friend of his who's like in Trump's Secret Service and knows how amazing Donald Trump is, and like, and how much he's kind of the like second coming of Jesus Christ. And but this man is also like spent his whole life chewing tobacco and drinking Mountain Dew and has like no immune system now because of it. And so he's constantly sick, which is like the best part about visiting him is that we never see him because he's always in bed sick because he like is all jacked up inside. But when he does get out of bed, I have to leave the room because I can't like listen to him talk, and it is mind-numbingly dull and like dumb. Yeah. And oh my goodness, it is. Yes, so there are father-in-laws out there that are nightmares, and I have I've had three of them in 10 years. So you're welcome.
God.
Oh, sure. There's tons of idiot father-in-laws out there. I've had some, and you just kind of shake your head and you just shut the fuck up because it's not worth it. Because it's like whatever, do whatever, say whatever you're gonna do. You don't really affect my life much. But oh my God, yeah, that's that. I would just, I don't know. It sounds like you're kind of watching this as a sideshow, and it doesn't seem to be, other than being embarrassing when you're around them, affecting your marriage too much, which is good. Just keep your distance, and I'm assuming your significant other understands how you feel about this. That would be a healthy thing to share. I would hope you'd be on, safe enough grounds where they would know how you feel about something like this. Even if they don't feel that way, they could respect and understand why you do. But I guess considering where they come from,
yeah, that's going to be tough.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just kind of rang true. It sounded like a page out of my own family. I've got part of my family, big on the ivermectin train and all of the things that go with it. And in my industry, in the veterinary world, ivermectin is used for a very different purpose than preventing COVID. So, yeah, I have to look the other way. To each their own. You do what you think is necessary, but I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to buy into science. But that's me. That's me. And you do what you got to do. I'm not going to be having apple flavored ivermectin for breakfast on my oatmeal.
I could put it in Cheerios a little bit, and
you could. It is apple flavored. It's
honey
usually
nut,
used with horses.
Cheerios. But isn't there is a human version of this, correct?
Of ivermectin?
Yeah, it's not like always just a horse tranquilizer. From everything I've understood, that there is a human version of it that is used in traditionally other circumstances.
So I'm going to look it up. The ivermectin it treats roundworms and parasites. That's what we use it for in the veterinary world.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are using it on humans,
but you're not,
should only be used for parasitic infections. Well, and humans can get hookworm and whipworm.
Sure, but the thing is, the scary thing is, people are hearing it's a horse tranquilizer or this or that. Yes. True. You don't take the horse version, though.
Right. I mean, you've got to understand ratios and proportions and how to properly dose that, because a horse is so many times bigger than a human body.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what strength that is and how that equates to the human version. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find it at Tractor Supply store, the size that's right for you. You're not. It's not safe that way.
No, it's one of those things where, FDA says why you should not use ivermectin to treat. There are a lot of doctors, though, that are saying they're not prescribing the horse version, but they are prescribing the human version of it. And some people are actually finding some relief with it. I've never done it. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about it.
But you know what that tells me, though? humans, we may have a parasitic load in our bodies. We eat foods that maybe aren't cooked properly. We may have parasites.
I'm sure we
that
do.
If you go in and kill them, your body might react like, hey, I finally feel better. So there might be some benefit to a yearly deworming for humans.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of all this, I was like, yeah, why would you? But it was always phrased as horse tranquilizer. No, the human version is not fucking horse tranquilizer. But but that was the good, scary thing. And immediately when it was brought up, it was like, no, get the vaccine, get the vaccine, get the vaccine. Because that's so much better. We don't really know about how any side effects or how bad or good this is yet, but it's certainly not horse tranquilizer. And it's like, and you take a step back, it's like, okay, they weren't really talking, people who were sanely talking about this, we're not talking about going to pet supplies and taking the horse tranquilizer.
But I also have a set of parents that would drink tonic water on a daily basis because there is a part of tonic water that could allegedly somehow protect the body from COVID. Well, do you know how much tonic water you would have to drink?
Is that the Keats or whatever is in there?
Yes. Yep. Whatever it's called.
I would think you could take a much more, I'm guessing there's a supplement for that, where you could take a much more effective version of it than drinking tonic water.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, how much tonic water are you going to drink to make a difference? And it's unsafe amount.
Was it an excuse to have gin and tonics all day throughout the
I would feel better if it were that kind of excuse. It was just something that they'd picked up on some fringe website.
Sure.
And then they went to Costco and picked up like 20 cases of tonic water and started guzzling it. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Everybody knows the only cure to COVID is the stuff that Jim Baker is selling out of Branson.
Well, exactly.
He's got the magic water there. I think he's still being sued for that.
I hope so. That's probably where my parents got it. So I'm just astounded. You know, here I am. You know, I'm deeply entrenched in medicine and science, and I'm hearing that that's what they're doing. So I'm like, whatever. You do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I do, and we'll see if we meet in the middle somewhere.
It's amazing what the human mind is capable of believing at some point. And it's especially when scared. And it's, Well,
the pandemic was scary. I will give you that. I was, you know, we were cleaning grocery items in the beginning of it. We learned that wasn't a thing, but you know, you try to find the happy medium, and everybody has their own way of coping, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I am not at all opposed to a yearly deworming for humans. So
I think it'd be
that'll
great.
Just be my synopsis for today.
They should do it at McDonald's, just like they bring back the McRib. It's like, it's the Mick deworming, and it tastes like a McRib, but there's like a special sauce on there that deworms you.
Exactly.
And you get it once a year, as if the pork thing product of the McRib wasn't going to, you know, clear your balls, your bubbles to begin with. Add a little of that ivermectin sauce, and holy Jesus.
Oh, God.
You'll discover all the other parasites that the McNuggets gave you throughout the rest of the year.
You shall be saved.
You shall be saved. Very much so. All right, that's going to wrap up today's episode of My Crazy Family. Share your crazy family stories with us online. Go to crazyfampod.com. We would love to hear them. Of course, you can also call in 833-CRAY-FAM. That's 833-272-9326. And check us out on Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe to our channel there, even get a commercial-free and advanced episodes. You can do it for 3 days free. Just check that out on our Apple Podcast channel. Until next time, for Stacy, I'm Tony. Thanks for listening to My Crazy Family.
Crazy and insane. My crazy family.